Welcome back to another in our series of trade talks. I'm here with my friend Pat Mullin from Total Floors down here in Webster. This is a video I've been wanting to put together for a long time because increasingly I've got to know Pat and his company through our relationship. Pat, thanks very much for doing this.
You're welcome.
So tell me about the background, about you. How did you get started in the flooring business? Because you weren't in the flooring business originally, right?
Correct. No, I actually was a warehouse supervisor for Compact Computers back in the day. And my wife and I were young, newly married and pregnant with our daughter. And I knew at that moment that I was meant to be an entrepreneur and that I had to find a path to get to there. And so I actually had a friend that had a carpet cleaning company. That's how we originally started.
Yeah.
And so we started that. And then shortly after that, very quickly after that, I had a client that we were cleaning the carpet for, and she needed her carpet replaced. And I didn't do that. And in order for me to have her not call me every week after week, I had to find carpet for her. And so we did, and finally put that carpet in, and that's how we began.
So you literally, you were going to be a carpet cleaner. You
Right.
started cleaning people's carpet. You had a client who said, I need a new carpet, and she kept calling you, and so you figured out how to put carpet in. And that's really been the seed and the origin of the business.
That's absolutely how it all happened, and it just evolved from there.
So when you say it evolved from there, talk me through that. Like, how did that go from carpet to this? Because this is magnificent.
Yeah.
Right. So how did chart that path?
So during the carpet cleaning era, finding this carpet, I had to find distributors. Local distributor had no clue where to find, ended up finding a distributor. Actually, that installer that helped me with this carpet is an employee still today, 29 years almost. Well, I back up, 26 years. He's been with me and only works for us. He's an employee of our company. And but during that phase of finding that distributor, we had to continue to investigate how do we purchase flooring. And so the only way you could purchase flooring was to have a showroom. At that time we had an office, or we converted a small office. We converted one of our offices into a mini showroom. That's where I met a very dear friend of mine today, Brad Jackson, who was working for a company, a distributor here. And when he came and met with me while I was still cleaning carpets, he said, here's my business card. If you ever want to learn the flooring business, I'll help you. He walked away thinking he would never hear from me again. Apparently I bothered him 3 days a week like that lady bothered me and asked questions. And he taught me along the way, told me where to find resources, told me how to do this, how to do that. And today he's been an employee of my company for 16 years. And so he has been a dear friend, and now he's an employee getting close to retirement with us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's interesting as well because I know you, right? And I'm getting to know you, but I know you. You know, if you spent a period of time in a boat with someone, you know, and then want to go and have lunch with them, you kind of know each other, right?
Yeah.
You, though, if I can pay you a compliment, you have more passion about what you do than anybody else I've ever met when it comes to tile, flooring, shower installations, anything. So it's interesting because your background was, hey, I'm doing this. I want to become an entrepreneur. You became an entrepreneur. At what point in this evolution did you really find your passion?
You know, what we do matters. Like watching something come from nothing to a creation of art. I feel like what we do is art in a way, because it's what homeowners live on and see. Their friends come over, they glamour, they compliment and everything. And so what we do for those homeowners makes that happen.
Right.
And so it's just I love watching the way it happens. It's just a beautiful thing, you know. And so we're just, we believe in doing it right. We believe in the quality behind it. You know, if we can't do it right, we just don't want to do it. You know, we want to make sure that what we put in lasts as long as it's supposed to last.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's very important to us.
You know, we just had an issue with a well-known national flooring company, and you immediately stepped in and said, don't worry, I'll take care of this. And, you know, the cynic in people will say, well, of course, Pat and the company would do that because he's trying to garnish business. But there's two sides to this.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that I want to share, and I want to share in front of people as well, and one of which you know. The first thing is you don't and you won't work for just every builder in the world. That's
right.
Number one, right?
Right.
And we're going to come back to that in a second. Number two, there is a Google review of you out there changing somebody's tire, stopping, giving them money, everything else. And that, both of those things together is really the Pat that I know,
Right.
is somebody who will never, ever cut a corner on doing the right thing and chases people and serving people in everything you do. Now, talk a little bit about that, you know, in terms of the builders and everything else, but more, have you always been that way? Is that Pat?
Yeah, my whole life. I had a wonderful mother, and you know, she taught us how to be honest. You know, and so one thing that I don't believe in is getting something that I didn't earn. You know, we don't take, we don't cheat, we don't want. If we didn't earn it, we don't want it.
Right.
You know, that's the moral. I first serve a higher power. You know. Then I have my wife, and then I have my daughter, and then I have my business.
Right.
My business is number 4 to me, and so God is number 1. And so I have a heart and moral inside of me that I want to do right by everybody. We here at Total Floors believe it's a very expensive procedure to go through with buying floors and counters. I didn't realize how expensive it was until, you know, seeing over time how these jobs can just, I mean, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of big investment for homeowners to put in. And so we want to make sure that we give them exactly what they want. So we're passionate about seeing that through. That's why we have developed a wonderful team to make that happen. Speaking
of your team, not everyone I have encountered has a facility and an infrastructure like you do. You know, we were over meeting with your estimating team and looking at the level of the detail and the drawings that they put together to send out to every one of your jobs, so that everybody in the field literally can look and count the tiles almost. I mean, I'm sure they do and I'm sure they don't, but you can see everything. It's all laid out, it's all to scale. You know, every plank is accounted for. It's efficient, there's no wastage, you don't underorder, you don't overorder, which for me, you know, if somebody doesn't have the right quantity and then it becomes we've got to wait for the next shipment to come in. Like, where did that forensic level of detail and that desire to, if I'm doing this, I'm going to be the best, where did that come from? Well, I'm not exactly sure where it came from, but it's just been innate in me to want to be the best at what I do. I feel like Total Floors is different than a lot of the companies because we are very passionate about what we do. We care so much, and you know, we have grown our business. We're now many years into this, and learning the softwares that can help you be successful was key to us. It's made us so much more efficient. I am really about accountability and efficiencies with everyone, and the only way that I can have my team be so successful is to invest into softwares that make their job better. And by doing all of this, you know, it allows us to be on top of the game. I like to be, I don't want to say, I like to be the best in my industry. I feel like at Total Floors we are. We really strive to educate ourselves through many universities in the flooring sector that we have. A lot of our team members will do training classes and stuff, and we encourage that for all of them. That getting educated in what we do allows us to be on the top of our game. I remember the first time I walked into one of the homes you did for me, an install, and it wasn't finished yet, you know. And I walked in and I saw the level of protection you had put on everything. And my only response was, finally. It was such a relief to find someone who really took the duty of care seriously. Now I know, and I'm going to go back to this now, I know that you don't always work for every builder that walks through the door. Right. How do you distill and discern who you want to work for versus who you don't? And how does that develop and evolve as time goes forward? Well,
you know, our morals are very important to us. How we run our business matters to us, and so we try to match that with the potential new builders that we work for. We, you know, they interview us, but we also interview them. Right. You know, they don't know that from time to time. Right. But we try to find out, you know, what are they looking for? Are they looking for, do they want the quality that we want, you know, or are they just looking to hurry up and get it done? And sometimes getting it done at the cheapest price doesn't mean it's the best. And so that's just not who we are. We believe in longevity. Again, buying flooring is like buying cars. You know, I always tell my staff, you know, because I think from time to time they get desensitized by some of the estimates that they write, because they could be $10,000, they could be $100,000. That's a lot of money. Either way you look at, 10,000 is a lot of money and 100,000 is a lot of money. Right. That's an investment that homeowners are putting into their homes, their new homes. So that's why we like to protect the floors too, because that's such an important investment. And by the time we are finished with our installations, we don't want everybody trampling over it unless it's been cleaned and covered and protected, at least from after we're done. You know, so, but yeah, it's important. You have a great culture. You have a tremendous culture. Like everyone that works here, it's like they plan to work nowhere else. And that's huge for us. Like we try and develop that as well. We want people that's spending so much time in one place. Right. How have you gone about it? What do you do to create that culture? Well, we believe we're definitely a big family around here. You know, everyone here has been with me for a long time. We have some newer young estimators that are starting, but it's because we've also have grown our business as well. And so we just treat everybody with respect. We're kind. We do hold accountability. We teach them, we train them, and in return they give us good work. And we're just a big family, and we like to have fun. We like to joke around. We like to do team building. We try to get out to know each other. You know? And so it's what you have to do. We're a small business family, business owner family, and everybody's just part of the family. We treat them like that. Okay. Now, the programs you've put together for us, and you're welcome to come to the design studio that we have up in Spring and see the flooring and tile programs. We always invite people. It's a big thing for us that before anyone comes to meet and sign paperwork with us, they meet us and see what we offer and the programs that we have and everything else. And I'm always talking about, the 20% is the what, but the 80% is the how. And you definitely provide that with how you install and how you plan and how you design for things. And the programs that we've put together jointly. What do you see the future for Total Floors? Like, as we film this now, it's, the 10th of April, 2025. If we're looking back in 10 years' time, you and I, and going, wow, who'd have thought? What are we talking about? Well, again, like I told you, we're a family business. My daughter is here. She works with us, and the goal is that it'll be hers one day. That's, my wife and I are developing it and running it and organizing it and getting it to run for her to keep longevity. We don't have no intention of anything changing around here ever, and we have a tremendously awesome team, and they're young. We want to make sure that Total Floors is around for them 20 years from now. Right. So that's our goal, is to make sure everyone here is taken care of. The story you have and the way you walk through life
that I've experienced firsthand, but it's not just me. For anyone who doesn't know, check out the Google review that he has. Is first class and it's inspirational. It's also what we look for in a partner. I'm really, really glad that we've been brought together. I'm blown away by the quality of the work and what you do, but more importantly, how you stand behind things as well. Thank you very much for letting me sit down with you today. It's a beautiful sunny day. I got to head back up to the woodlands, but thanks again, Pat.
You're welcome.